Okay, let's head into the game. We are gonna be reading some World Underneath. Let's see what Raphael is wearing.
It's not too late right now. Tell me what you want to do. There's still time.
Right, he was wearing this outfit. He really likes this one. He likes this one and the white shirt. The one that is like... looks almost like it has two colors. Not colors, but collars. No, collar. Let's just head in to the world underneath. There we go. And we are gonna start from the top. The one left. This... okay, yeah. It is from the beginning. Someone knocks. Zane opens the office door to find William's girlfriend, Sienna. Standing outside, she manages a pale smile and holds up a box. This is for you, Zane. A martyr's badge sits inside it. It's very conspicuous on the velvet cushioning. It reminds Zane of the spilled blood that night at Mount Eternal. Zane is silent for a moment before he steps aside to let her in. I've been thinking, but I just can't accept it, Sienna says as she sits across from him. She cradles a cup of hot water in her hands. William was always so busy after he joined the evil special rescue unit. But he would always come home after he was done with work. Now... her hand clenches around the cup as her lips tremble uncontrollably. If I don't see this badge, I can tell myself that he's still at work and just hasn't come home yet. Wiping away her tears, Sienna puts down the cup, gently pushing the box towards Zane. Keeping this with me will only serve as a constant reminder that my William will never return. I can't take it anymore. Zane's expression becomes more solemn. After a while, he nods, opens the drawer closest to him, and puts the box inside. Sienna bows and says, "Thank you." As she prepares to leave, she glances at the swaying tree branches outside. William told me that you and Dr. Noah would return to the university together every year during the first year admissions. Was always too busy to go. Zane, if you see Dr. Noah this year, please tell him William said hi. On the first day of school, Dr. Noah is already waiting at the entrance to Skyhaven University. The soon-to-be retired professor stands as straight as a pine tree. Good morning, Dr. Noah. At Zane's greeting, Dr. Noah smiles. He turns and pats Zane's shoulder. Well, it's just the two of us this year. Will was too busy, and now you are too. I wonder who'll come with me next year. His expression changes as he sighs. That boy, Carter. Never mind. William sends his regards, Zane says. I'll also accompany you every year from now on. That's nice to hear. But nothing is more important than the patients, Dr. Noah says. The two of them enter Skyhaven University and head to the auditorium. Many students are going the same way, still wearing the innocent excitement of being newly admitted. Their steps are lighter and faster than Dr. Noah and Zane's. Soon enough, they get ahead of the crowd and disappear. The two push open the main door of the auditorium to find several seniors setting up the venue. A banner reading, 47th First Year Medical Student Oath Ceremony, hangs above the stage. Seeing Dr. Noah and Zane approaching, A smile young man with a staff badge around his neck jumps down from the ladder, runs toward them and bows. Hello, Dr. Noah. I'm new. I heard from my seniors that you'll also be here for the oath. I'm here to reminisce, Dr. Noah replies. Then turns to Zane. This is your senior, Zane. The young man looks surprised. You're the legendary 35th academic god that we all pray to before exams. And now I get to finally see you in person? Many of us look up to you as a role model. Me included. Can I take a picture with you later? Zane is taken aback by the request, but eventually nods. As they talk, soft but solemn music begins to play in the auditorium. A large number of first years enter the hall in an orderly manner, standing and waiting for the ceremony to begin. Young man bows to them again and goes back to the stage to adjust the microphone. Dr. Noah takes a step back, making way for a few students to pass by. I will have the utmost reverence for human life, maintain a sense of duty and dignity in practicing medicine, and adhere to good medical standards. The oath begins. The newly admitted medical students look on with determination. Their eyes sparkle under the morning light. Dr. Noah looks at Zane, recalling how many years ago he watched this man participate in the same ceremony. As a first-year student, Zane was younger than everyone else. His presence alone made him stand out. When he raised his hand to take the oath, his composed and steady demeanor made Dr. Noah wonder how far this young man could go in the field of medicine. The oath ceremony ends. Students, imbued with the responsibility and honor of taking their oath, leave one by one. Dr. Noah leads Zane to the cafeteria through the excited crowd. William and Carter were like this too, Dr. Noah. Can't help but get caught up in the moment. He shakes his head and changes the topic. Never mind. I heard the cafeteria has sweet and sour ribs today. Do you want to grab a bite? Zane smiles. All right. Near the end of the cafeteria is the towering research building. 3 students wipe their mouths, run past them, and mutter about their bacteria being dead. Startled sparrows fly over their heads from the treetops. Dr. Noah looks up at the building, lost in thought. Zane, have you heard of the rumor? The ghost in the office? Zane frowns, a little exasperated. These kinds of unscientific rumors are everywhere in the School of Medicine. Indeed, Dr. Noah says. His gaze lingers on Zane for a moment before he chuckles. I wonder who started it. It was probably in the year 2040, when the main cafeteria of the university had just been renovated. Dr. Noah got his soup and chose a place to sit. His phone vibrated twice. It was a message from the dean of the medical school. I read the report Zane submitted. The theoretical model is quite good. A lot of students have tried to explore the uses of protocols before, but their ideas were limited by their methods. They couldn't fully understand it either. I can't say for sure that Zane will make progress, but his report makes me feel this approach is worth trying. Then there was another message. Your student has great ideas and seemed to be quite bold. Dr. Noah didn't hide his pride. Of course he's good. I chose him. He put his phone on the table, intending to finish reading a paper he had started the day before, but the noise from the neighboring table got his attention. A security guard was sitting with 3 serious cafeteria ladies, all holding spoons. The guard, also solemn, waved his hand and began to talk. I'm telling you, there's something fishy going on in the research lab at the medical school. Really. I see the kids from the lab come to meet every day. They seem fine. The problem is in the research lab. The security guard knocked on the table, speaking with an air of mystery. I'm telling you, when I went on patrol on Monday, what happened? You know how a lot of people stay late in the research labs there? It's not a big deal. I just remind them to lock the doors when they leave. But on Monday, I saw everyone leave. When I was locking up, I heard... Heard what? I heard this swishing sound. It scared me half to death. I couldn't even figure out what it was. Are you sure you didn't just scare yourself? There must have been a student still in the lab. I thought so too, so I checked again. There was no one. Really? Yes, really. I looked everywhere, and I couldn't see anyone. I was about to turn off the lights and leave when I thought I heard a voice. You said there wasn't anyone. The ghost! Nothing is behind me, is there? That's why I said it's totally abnormal. You guys have no idea just how many skeletons are in the research lab. What if one of them came back to life? Oh, stop saying nonsense. The cafeteria lady stood up with furrowed brows and returned to their stations. Losing his audience, the security guard prepared to leave. Maybe he was flirting. He turned around and saw Dr. Noah looking at him. Dr. Noah, I said what I said, but I don't think there is anything wrong with the medical school. He smiles. Dr. Noah waved his hand, signaling the guard not to worry. At the front of the cafeteria, Zane had gotten his meal and was trying to find a place to sit down. Seeing him, Dr. Noah beckoned Zane to sit next to him. Dr. Noah, we can proceed with the next experiment tomorrow, Zane said. Those were the first words out of his mouth after taking a seat. Stick to your plan. Dr. Noah didn't ask for more detail. He has been closely following this project. He knew Zane never slacked off, for even a second, and had double-checked, triple-checked the data. He understood the importance of this project to Zane and trusted that he had it under control. As he ate, Dr. Noah remembered something. Tuesday morning. Did you miss the exam? Zane's hand paused for a moment. A hint of embarrassment flickered in his eyes. I'm sorry. If you don't take it, you won't get a score. The med school won't give you a special treatment just because you're you. I know. It's my fault for missing the exam. I don't deserve to have a score. Zane, Dr. Noah said, looking at the faint dark circles around his student's eyes. I know you're taking this project very seriously, and you're committed to your studies. Don't wear yourself out. After a moment of silence, Zane put down his chopsticks and said softly, Dr. Noah, I'm not tired. I just want to move on to my clinical rotations as soon as possible. Dr. Noah nodded. He understood, yet couldn't help but sigh. This child was too mature for his age and carried too much on his shoulders. He wanted to say something to comfort Zane, but in the end, he said nothing. Oh my god, Zane! I can't. He's such a good person. Protect this man at all cost. The way he puts everyone before himself. People like this, they need to be protected. They really do need to be protected. Because people, evil people, like to walk over these kinds of people. We must protect these. All of them in our life. Thursday night, Dr. Noah stepped out of the research lab. He greeted the patrolling security guard and was about to leave when he saw the lights were still on in his office. It then occurred to him that a few days ago, he had given the keys to Zane, allowing him to access the research reports he had completed several years ago, at any time. Through the glass, he scanned the room. For a moment before spotting Zane, Zane was sitting behind a human model, reading a paper. The security guard didn't see him, so he turned off the lights and locked the door. Zane looked up in the darkness. It took him only a few seconds to accept his situation. Then he shook his head, holding the book. Is Zane the ghost? Oh my sweet, oh my gosh. Holding the book, he walked to the switch and turned the light back on. In the corridor, the security guard, startled to see the light his arm behind him, shivered as he turned around, mustered his courage, and headed back toward the office. Noah sighed and made a detour back to the office, taking Zane, who was still reading, out of the office. Walking with Zane to the entrance of the research lab, Noah thought back to the first time he saw him at the oath ceremony. He had mentored many students. Among them were many who were as hardworking as Zane. They all got into medical school because of their dreams. Looking at Zane, he remembered a rumor he heard. I heard your parents are also doctors. Chose the medical field to follow in their footsteps, right? Zane smiled. Yes. Even the bedtime stories they told me during my childhood were about the hospital. Most of the things at home that I could use to kill time were medical textbooks, too, so I was influenced by them. Is there another reason? He says no. But yes. Yeah. There is. I cannot take this answer. This no answer. No. It definitely is deeper than this. That was too quick of a response. Besides, the way you're obsessing over this doesn't seem like there's only one reason. Zane was quiet for a long time, the sound of his footsteps carried away by the wind. Just when Dr. Noah thought Zane wouldn't answer him, he spoke up. It's also because of someone. Dr. Noah kind of expected that. He stopped walking and turned to look at his student, who rarely opened up about his feelings. He saw Zane standing alone in the first snowfall of that winter. I don't want to be incapable of doing anything again when I became a threat to her. Oh my gosh, what happened? Don't tell me I need Zane's myth to know what happened. Thank goodness for YouTube. A few days later, Dr. Noah received a call from the dean of the medical school. He sounded displeased. He massaged his temples as he went to the dean's office. As soon as he opened the door, he heard a quiet voice ask, "Why did you destroy your part of the experimental data, Zane?" Zane stood in the middle of the room, silent and expressionless. Sure, it doesn't affect others, but it could have helped this project achieve its purpose faster. The dean stepped closer to Zane, his fingers tapping on the desk. There was more frustration than anger in his voice, the kind that came from a fellow researcher. I remember you worked hard in the lab for weeks. Did you think about how erasing your data means all your efforts have gone to waste? I know it wasn't an accident. Explain yourself. Behind Zane, his senior and lab mate Carter started to speak. As long as we Quiet, boy, Dr. Noah pushed Carter behind him. I'll handle this. Let the students go first. Thank you, Dr. Noah. Zane walked over to the flower bed and sat down next to Dr. Noah. He chuckled at Zane's thanks. I told the dean about you wanting to leave the group too. If you really want to thank me, write fewer negative comments about me in your desertion acknowledgement. You're very brave, Zane. Worried that the dean's words might affect him. Dr. Noah added, not everyone is willing to abandon research they've put so much effort into. Dr. Noah, this project is about the application of protocore energy in interventional cardiology procedures. But during the experiment, Zane closed his eyes and shook his head. He took out the only remaining image from his data and handed it to Dr. Noah. The picture was a heart that was mostly covered in black crystals. To be more precise, it looked like a human heart, beating, growing, out of black crystals. Dr. Noah thoughts returned to the autumn of 2047. The students, having just attended the first year oath ceremony, finished their meals and are about to attend their first class at Skyhaven University School of Medicine. He and Zane have also finished eating and are taking their trays back. Still savoring his meal, Dr. Noah walks out of the cafeteria with Zane. The sweet and sour ribs this year aren't great, but no matter how bad the food is, I always want to eat here when I come back. Once I retire, I'll leave Lincoln City. At the front gate, Dr. Noah turns around and pats Zane's arm. When you're free, I'll take you to a restaurant near my home. Food there is delicious. As soon as he finishes speaking, his phone rings. Glancing at the caller ID, he sighs. And that's why doctors should never say they're free. Then, with a serious expression, he starts walking away to answer the call. Dr. Noah, I'll drive you back to the hospital. After the call ends, Zane walks with him to the parking lot. As they pass the flower bed outside the research lab, Dr. Noah remembers something important. You visited her? Zane pauses, then he says, Not yet. Are you afraid? No, he shakes his head, his voice steady. They're mentioning this flower bed an awful lot of times. Could this be jasmine flowers? And that it's somehow connected with MC? Because when I read the anecdotes, he was watering some flowers. Jasmine, to be precise. Dr. Noah gets out of the car in front of Axo Hospital. He watches as Zane drives away. When he disappears into the traffic, the elderly doctor slowly turns around. For some reason, that kid always feels surreal. It feels as though, despite standing in the crowd, he would never be a part of it. He remembers that night when a single light glowed in the campsite during a blizzard in the Arctic. He remembered the lonely figure leaving in the cold wind the next day when the experiment's data were destroyed. Perhaps the path the young man walks has only heavy snow and level ground. He's destined to walk alone. As his teacher, Dr. Noah can only hope that one day a fork in the road will appear before the young man, offering him tranquil respite. Is this it? That was the last one. So we go to this one. Die in spring. That's so dark. It doesn't matter if the annual salary in the millions or if the research lab is top notch. Without me, Carter, could Xander's sciences have come this far? What truly drives the development of science is not experiments, but ideas. I'm such a person, and so is Zane. That's why you need him, right? Laughter echoes in the conference room. Carter stands up, leans on the table, and tosses the contract back to the executives. If the medical genius Zane valued these things, why would he accept Axo Hospital's invitation? Can a hospital offer more than our research institute? What do you suggest, Dr. Carter? I didn't get my doctorate degree with a smile on his lips that can send chills down someone's spine. Carter glances at the institute director, asking the question. Give me the file of cabin 607's patient. Let me try. After a round of New Year's fireworks. After a round of New Year's fireworks, 2048 officially begins. During the year, Dr. Carter decided to quit school. This area of Imperial Ring Park was just a newly abandoned construction site. The property owner declared bankruptcy, and it turned out they had invested in the emerging industry of protocore technology, Skyhaven. The homeowners formed a group to defend their rights, the construction site. Carter and Zane happened to pass by and saved an elderly man who had a heart attack. After the ambulance took the man away, they sat down in the restaurant for a late-night snack, discussing the trending topic of the time. The ethics of applying protocore technology to revive dead cells. At dawn, the door of the restaurant opened again. Zane headed in the opposite direction. In the morning, fog, and they never saw each other again. Now, vibrant plants have replaced the construction rubble. An Imperial Ring district has been revitalized with the resurgence of Lincoln City. However, Carter believes that no matter how the world changes, Zane will remain the same. He knows this is the path his stubborn junior will take every day for his morning jog. As he strolls through the park, a familiar voice is heard from behind a bush. You're a doctor. Please save Pilot. He already passed away. Following the voice, Carter finds Zane squatting next to a crying child by a bench. The boy pulls at Zane's arm. A stray dog lies motionless in front of them. It's not breathing. Pilot always plays with me. I even bought it cookies. Pilot knows. He's very happy. Zane murmurs. He gently pats the child's head. But I don't want Pilot to die. Carter laughs to himself and walks over. Protocore in hand. Hey kid, Pilot can live again with this. He casually joins in on the conversation. Zane looks up, his softened gaze turning cold at the sight of the protocore. He stands up and stares at Carter's smiling face. Death is part of life. We can't change that. You're still cold-hearted, Zane. The dog also counts as a life, and the poor kid is heartbroken. Carter follows Zane to the restaurant they visited all those years ago. It is now a fast food restaurant. He squints and looks around as if admiring its rebirth. If someone wants a life to continue, how would you know if you can't bring it back? Shouldn't you try first? Carter remembers the frightening look in the child's eyes when he brought the protocore close to the stray dog. Then again, you're right, most people don't even want to try. Tell me, is the natural law an unshakable moral boundary, or is it just a comforting phrase people use? His voice drips with sarcasm. I thought I made that clear, Zane says. He places his phone on the table after ordering breakfast. I see you haven't changed at all, Carter. No, that's where you're wrong. Xander Sciences has given me a lot of opportunities. We all remember this guy Carter, right? He was trying to give MC flowers. It was flowers, right? If I remember correctly. So they do not have a good past together. And I can assume why. Without allowing things to be dismissed, Carter takes out an elegant-looking business card from his bag and slides it across the table towards Zane. If you had kept going, maybe you would have already broken free from the shackles of the natural law, Carter says. Zane, your talents are wasted at Axo Hospital. Xander Sciences doesn't want to see a genius like you be forgotten. The evil technology you're insisting on is so last year. No one wants an artificial lump that needs to be charged in their hearts now. Protocore tech is the golden brick that will pave the way to the future. Carter is confident. The Xander Sciences Research Institute's logo and the research he's in charge of will easily catch the eye of top experts worldwide. Zane doesn't take the card. Instead, he shifts his gaze to the window. Hold on to that brick then. If you drop it, your foot won't be the only thing that's hurting. Carter shrugs. He knows moving this iceberg wouldn't be easy. The business card is an opportunity for Zane to reject him. He brings out his trump card. Take a look at this. It's a case from our project, a very rare condition. You know what I like about Zane? When there are people that he doesn't really like if they have completely different morals, he's not afraid to draw the line. He's not... You can't really step over him if you are that kind of person. So I like that. I like that. He can take care of himself. But I want to take care of him. Now we all should take care of him. Oh my god, he's such a sweetheart. Honestly, all of the love interests are such... I love them. Carter sends the meticulous prepared medical record of Cabin 607's patient to Zane's phone. Zane doesn't move, so Carter reaches out and accepts it for him. The patient's heart surgery is scheduled for next week. His other organs are in such a terrible state that he may not survive the side effects of their treatment. We're at a loss. Why don't you take a look? Knowing Zane can glean insights from abnormal data in the medical record, he doesn't provide any more details. As expected, Zane looks away, furrowing his brow in barely disguised displeasure. Are you unsure of what to do? If that's the case, Xander Sciences wouldn't have kept him until now. Smiling, Carter nods. That's why we need you. My skills are nothing compared to yours, and Dr. Noah's. I can't be as meticulous and efficient as you. The restaurant owner brings out a bowl of sweet tofu pudding and places it in front of Zane. I love that he loves sweets. Me too, Zane, me too. Carter laughs again. Dr. Noah thinks highly of you, you know. He would mention you to me and Will all the time back then. It made us really curious about you before we met. Eating a spoon of his hot and spicy soup, he continues. You may not like Xander Sciences, but the patient is innocent. Just like that dead dog, he also has families waiting for them. Take a look, Dr. Zane. It won't violate your medical ethics. The person Carter has been waiting for still hasn't stepped through the doors of Xander Sciences, even after Cabin 607's patient is brought into the operating room. 5 hours later, The less than successful surgery forced him to confront the gap between him and a genius once more. They worked on the theoretical model of this research back in school. He even outperformed Zane on this front. Yet when it comes to applying it, things never go smoothly. Where does he fall short compared to Zane? In every single aspect. What else? He desperately wants to know what Zane discovered and why he stopped researching it. Dr. Carter, Dr. Zane is here. Carter stiffens at the news. He quickly raises his head, masking his frustration. But the time he swivels around in his office chair and stands up, his usual confident demeanor is back. Xander Science's life pods look like enormous capsules with countless intertwined tubes, connecting them to the surrounding equipment. The red tubes sucked away death while the blue ones injected new life. This is like necromancy! The daily cost of one device could burn through a month's worth of resources in a regular hospital's ICU. Xander Sciences has 15 of these. Outside of cabin 607's glass window, Zane stares at the patient who's soaking in the liquid, shriveled like a skeleton. Familiar, isn't it? Carter walks up to the cabin's exterior, crossing his arms and admiring the ward that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie. You're late. His heart regeneration failed, so we had to put a new one in to keep him going. How did you perform the surgery? You'll know everything if you join us, though. Actually, you won't struggle with this conundrum. You might be the one most familiar with it. Zane being there means there's hope. Feeling he has the upper hand, Carter teases him. Remember the project we worked on for several years at school? The same one you stopped? I brought it to Xander Sciences. Now it has a name. X-Heart. Zane frowns. Have you conducted animal experiments with it? Of course, we've completed all the standard procedures. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invited you. When he was admitted, he only had less than 6 months. It's been 2 years now. This is what I offered. This is what I offered him. And he's happy to be a pioneer. But I get it. You're the genius here. I only implemented a genius' great ideas. How is this better? Like, they're keeping him in like a tube, like a living dead. For 2 years. I would have rather died those 6 months. After a moment of silence, Zane speaks again. Have you seen William since then? He died at Mount Eternal. You were closest to him in the team. Carter doesn't understand why Zane has to bring him up. After some thought, he guesses Zane wants to bring attention to his death. Mount Eternal, huh? The view's good. But there was an anomaly with the Wanderers a few years ago. Before he can finish, Zane gets up and leaves. Carter quickly follows him. Wait, aren't you here to join us? Zane keeps walking, pulling out his phone. I'm here to warn you. Hiding a Trojan horse in the medical record you sent can easily get you arrested. Carter watches as Zane walks further and further away, unmoving as always. His painstaking efforts are apparently worthless in Zane's eyes. In the empty corridor, Carter clenches his fists, unable to hold back his words. Zane, I'm giving you an opportunity. You better consider it. Our job is to save people. If we can control life and death, why shouldn't we? Because we're not the god? Don't you remember what we thought every time a surgery failed? Give me another chance. I could save him if I had another chance. This is the chance we've always wanted. There is no we, Zane replies. Do you remember how happy everyone was when the experiment worked? It was like a message left by God, and now we can finally respond. Zane, do you believe in God? At the end of the corridor, Zane finally stops and looks back at him, his hand in his coat pockets. You're crazy. If Zane says you crazy, that bastard gotta be 110% crazy. After leaving cabin 607, Zane walks to the elevator. The sound of rolling wheels comes from an unassuming door next to him. Through the small window, he can see a hallway. A metal cart used for waste disposal passes by. There's a lifeless hand poking out from under the white cloth. Make way. A simple-looking couple blocks the cart. The masked researcher sounds exhausted and tries to push the cart forward. Isn't this what you agreed to when you accepted the Institute's donation? Once they select him, we have full usage and disposal rights. He's gone now, so there's no need to play the part of a dutiful parent. The woman tightly clutches the cart's iron rails. She's almost kneeling. But he's our son. Please let us see him one last time. We promise we won't tell anyone. Oh, the desperation of parents. Just so you know, he came straight from the operating table. He doesn't have a heart anymore. Do you still want to see him? Excuse me, Zane says as he opens the door. Could you leave him with me for a moment? Over the past few months, Zane has become well known at Xander Sciences, so the researcher recognizes him. All Zane wants is a clean room and a set of surgical tools. The researcher hesitates. It's a favor that can be easily granted. All right, but no more than half an hour. After a while, the young man who had lost his heart finally appears before his parents in a clean, packed state. Zane, you are such an angel. The father presses his forehead against the wall, his hand tightly clutching his chest as he bites his lips. The mother bends over the bed, her head buried deep in the white sheets. Moments pass, and then Zane hears her muffled sobbing. Son, we've come to say goodbye. In the surveillance room, Carter watches the whole thing through the screen. A smirk plays on his lips as he opens the comms. I wanna beat this guy up. Carter, when I find you, Carter, when I find you... Zane, do you remember what we discussed before? We talked about it for a long time. In this era of technological advancement, why must we face death? This idiot. On the screen, Zane slowly turns to the camera. Unfortunately, he's just too far away for Carter to see his expression. My perspective hasn't changed. We will face death eventually, one way or another. Then Zane glances at the couple. Just not like this. A few days later, Zane officially joins AXO Evol Cardiac Medical Research Lab as its principal investigator. The night before, Carter sent him a congratulatory message and told him about the death of the patient in cabin 607. His name was Felix, only 45 years old. He helped a lot of poor students during his lifetime, giving them a comfortable and affluent life. He also allowed them to participate in our great experiment near the end of their lives. What a shame. Despite Xander Sciences sparing no expense to keep him alive, he still passed away after 2 years. But don't you think this is just the beginning? Zane doesn't reply. Unsatisfied, Carter sends another picture. It's a failed attempt at resuscitating a patient in cabin 607. He lies on the floor outside the life pod, a cluster of black crystals blooming on the left side of her chest like a magnificent dahlia. Zane, if the person lying on the operating table was your lover, would you let her die? After that message, a thought hits Carter like the first drop of rain falling outside the window. He suddenly understands. Why go to such great lengths to persuade Zane? What he really needs is not a like-minded colleague, but a pair of hands. Ones that can carry out God's mission and allow for God's descent. Zane's hands. Carter remembered that Zane became a doctor because of a girl. A person like him wouldn't join Axo Hospital for no reason. He has to be taking over Dr. Noah's work. If he can see which cases are being transferred from Dr. Noah to Zane, he can find that girl. Oh, this freaking bastard! That is why! That is why he approached her. I'm gonna have to beat this guy up. That's his trump card. And he thought so highly of Zane. As long as he has that mysterious girl, he knows he'll always have those hands. In an instant, countless thoughts surge into Carter's brain like bubbles in a soda can. Maybe that girl is even more interesting than cabin 607's patients, considering how Dr. Noah and Zane seem to be unable to help her. Maybe her value to X-Heart. I hate X's. You know, when there's an X before anything, it just reminds me of one of the biggest dipshits on this planet. He starts with an E, ends with a Musk. And he freaking loves that letter, so I... Zane, you should know you're rejecting a path to life's truth. My answer hasn't changed either. I've always believed that death is just a small obstacle. It can be overcome in due time. Happy, Carter tosses his phone onto the carpet and spins in place. His horizons have expanded now that he's changed gears. He pours himself half a glass of red wine in celebration, hope you choke on it, and raises it to the highest point of the city lights as it's soaked in heavy rain. A toast to humanity's greatest dream. In a dimly lit study, Zane reviews the patient records Dr. Zane transferred to him. He sees a name he knows all too well. He recalls the conversation he had with Carter back in med school. They sat across from each other at the restaurant. Zane had stared at his senior as he was about to eat. Even if we can avoid death, we still need it, he said. Now Zane rubs his temples. He stares at the name for a long time. Then he takes off his glasses, leaning back slowly in his chair. As if time and space intertwined, Carter's indignant voice rings in his ears and questions him once more. Wouldn't you use everything in your power to prevent your loved ones from dying? Of course he would. Zane answered this question countless times in his heart, and no matter how many years have passed, his answer still hasn't changed. Would do everything he could to prevent her death and save her. But the night is long, the fog is dense. If the end of the road is truly what's left, Zane closes his eyes. At least he still has another option. His last one. And before the storm arrives, he only hopes he can walk a little further on this rugged path. He could also hold her hand and resist the avalanche-like onslaught of selfish wishes together. Wow! This is so interesting. Oh my gosh. Oh. I'm gonna try not to read for like 5 hours. Oh my goodness. Well, at least I have Raphael who's gonna tell me like, now it's too late. You need to go to sleep. And then I'm gonna try like creeping around him just so I can do things in the game without him noticing me. Emerald Vines. This one is for Talia. On the trellis are emerald-colored vines. Raphael holds one of them. Soon, this garden, full of exotic plants, will be the place where Talia and her lover will hold their wedding. Not bad. It matches the design of the necklace I gave her. The garden's owner, Charles, is a jewelry designer. He enjoys gardening in his spare time and has done conservation. Conservation. I thought it said conversation. Conservation work for endangered plants and animals. This is how he had met Raphael. Choosing flowers is a psychological experience, Charles says. It's a process akin to someone trying to understand another person. Really, Raphael draws a series of random lines on a sheet of paper. I chose them based on the impression they gave. Doesn't sound as cool. People have also said that giving flowers to a lover is a surefire way to their heart. Charles remembers a girl he caught a glimpse of in Raphael's photo album. If you ever want to do that, you're welcome to pick any flowers from my garden. Stop reading stuff from those weird articles. Charles shrugs and responds with a helpless smile after being teased. He walks back through a path that's adorned in a faint floral fragrance. When he returns, he hears a conversation between Raphael and Talia. Are you really not going to attend? It's my wedding. Nope. The aloof artist continues to doodle. I love that word, doodle. It just sounds so funny. Doodle. I'm just doodling. Doodiloo. Oh. His phone is on speaker, and his responses are quick and simple. If Charles wasn't doing a commission for Talia's wedding, he would have believed Raphael. But I finally found someone I like. You said the same thing last time. And how long was that? Why are you so stingy with your blessings? I blessed you when you made the pact. Any more would be pointless. What do you mean? Not everyone is as lucky as you. I'm hanging up. Raphael ends the call and hands the sketch in his hand to the jewelry designer. The once chaotic lines are now an elegant yet fancy bouquet. A pencil may not be able to display any color beyond black, but Charles can still imagine the blue that Raphael shows earlier. He carefully takes the sketch and hands over the necklace design. This is from the plan we previously agreed upon. The gemstone is Talia's favorite and matches the color of her wedding dress. Before he can finish his sentence, they hear Talia's laughter from Raphael's phone. Raphael's expression changes as he realizes the call is still going. Talia sounds even happier than before. I knew you wouldn't disappoint me. I'll be waiting. See you then. The call actually ends this time. Charles chuckles and ignores Raphael's annoyance. There's no point in hiding it if you're going anyway. He points out a few modifications about the gemstone setting to Raphael. You put a lot of care into the details. I'm sure my plan will be harshly criticized. Raphael lowers his gaze and doesn't reply. Charles thinks he's maybe thinking about his lover. Sensing that Raphael has no intention of responding, He changes the conversation topic to the necklace's color scheme. Passing through the archway decorated with emerald vines, Raphael reaches the central fountain. The relaxed atmosphere in the garden makes him sigh, even though it's what he had expected. He picked out 2 suits for today, but after a few minutes, he ended up not wearing either. Instead, he chose comfortable, casual clothes suitable for dancing, which turned out to be the best choice. If Raphael wore a suit, he would have been teased by Talia, the same person who's wearing a simple dress and dancing barefoot on the grass. He's too plain. If he fell into a pond, let alone the sea, no one would be able to find him. Our Talia is the most dazzling pearl in the ocean. If you can find her, wouldn't you be able to find him too? At a small round table, a group of Lemurians are whispering to each other. Raphael turns to see a familiar face he hadn't seen since. The disaster. He cheerfully plays an ancient Lemurian instrument, a happy melody flowing from his moving fingertips. Thank your friend from me. Thank your friend for me. His garden is beautiful. Talia says to Raphael after she makes her way through the crowd. He was kind to let us hold ceremony here. Raphael's gaze shifts to the man not far away from Talia. He doesn't mind? He likes whatever I like, she says. She spins around in front of him. Her flared skirt twirls, making her look like a graceful, swimming fish. He designed this for me. It's pretty good, right? It suits you. Raphael chuckles, recalling Charles' words. The process of choosing flowers for someone is also a process of understanding that person. Maybe the same applies to designing clothes. He's silent for a few seconds. He drinks his wine and pushes the empty cup back onto the table. Raymond is dead. Talia takes a deep breath, a smile blooming on her face. Then we can all get a good night's sleep for now. Yeah, for now. Raymond was the one with that painting. He had the painting that Raphael had painted. And then he... And we didn't get too much information, so let's see what this is about. She understands the emphasis Raphael put in his words, crossing her arms. Her gaze wanders over the singing, dancing, and chatting people. Guess you don't want fleeting happiness. Raphael subtly turns away to avoid Talia. Oh my god, why can't I speak? He inevitably has to look at the guests attending her wedding. Almost all the familiar and unfamiliar Lemurian survivors are present. The music is harmonious and the singing is rich, but every smile seems to be covered with a grey veil. Then he hears Talia's melodious voice again. I'm getting married, not because I've forgotten the past, but because I want to live in the present. Look at every Lemurian here. They're all looking for an anchor, a reason to live. I found mine, and others have found theirs, Talia says, her eyes lock onto Raphael. But there are still those who don't realize how important it is to have an anchor. Raphael shakes his head. Lemuria is more important. Lemuria will always be important. Talia puts down her glass, looking serious. But what about you? When your own heart is devouring you, is there anything that can pull you back? Can you really let her go? The light in Raphael's eyes dims at her last question. Raphael, have you ever thought about your own wedding? With me? I mean... He's silent for a while. Then he takes off the Boutonniere? Boutonniere. But boutonniere. Well, a button? No? Is it like a pin or something? Places it on the table and he turns to leave the bustling scenery that doesn't belong to him. No. Oh! This is the whole page! No. Oh. Do you take her as your wife, Raphael? No. If he was grumpy that day, he'd be like, today is a no. Tomorrow, I don't know. I love grumpy Raphael. Freedom, happiness, and rebirth. Charles hangs the shovel back on the toolboard, nodding at the light yellow gardenia Raphael has been staring at. That's what it means in the language of flowers. Are you giving it to someone? Our relative's daughter. Raphael stands under the courtyard's door eaves, tilting his head to observe the flower petals. Can you tell me what it means again? People believe it represents freedom, happiness, and rebirth. Please give this one to Aerith. I highly recommend it for the opening ceremony, for the school year, or a birthday party. I'll take it. Raphael returns the sample to Charles and walks past him. Help me arrange a bouquet. I'll take it to her funeral. Her father can no longer give her flowers. Funeral? Charles stops counting his tools and makes a mistake on his paper. Wouldn't that be a bit... It's fine, Raphael says. Based on what you told me, it's suitable for a funeral too. Raphael crosses the courtyard as it's bathed in golden glow. He walks through the corridor where Raymond's glorious deeds are being played on a loop on a digital screen. Then, he arrives at Raymond's house. Raymond's funeral is being held in the living room. At the entrance, the butler mechanically takes the condolence money and mourner. He looks stiffly and professionally ahead until Raphael passes him. He narrows his eyes and quickly seizes Raphael up. Seemingly surprised by his presence, Raphael ignores these malicious glances and walks straight to the center of the hall, where the glass fish tank is placed. Are we gonna know about this Lemurian skeleton that's in the fish tank? He pauses for a second or two in front of the mermaid skeleton inside, then turns to Raymond's coffin and stands with the others. Mom, this is so boring. We were supposed to be on vacation in the Arctic. The child's voice echoes clearly in the hall. Her innocent comment makes the parent cover the brat's mouth in embarrassment, quickly returning to a sorrowful expression after flashing an apologetic smile. After all, she had yet to secure the inheritance she wanted. When it's Raphael's turn to mourn, he steps forward. He leans over the coffin and places the carefully selected gardenias on it, making sure its most beautiful side faces the fish tank. In the midst of all the black and white, this bright yellow bouquet is the only burst color. He clasps his hands together and closes his eyes. At a barely noticeable angle, he aligns himself with the bouquet, silently reciting an eulogy. A familiar song begins. Talia stands at the very front of the hall, singing a dirge. Raphael opens his eyes. The dazzling sunlight passes through the fish tank, and the skeleton inside silently gazes at the sky in a forever frozen pose. He knows who Talia is singing for, just as she knows who Raphael came here for. Murderer! You murderer! As Raphael is about to leave, an elderly woman suddenly pushes through the crowd. She rushes out of the hall, pointing at his retreating figure and screaming at the top of her lungs. My boy was only 39. It was supposed to be a time for rebirth, a fresh start. But he died because of a stupid, frivolous painter. A painting that doesn't make any sense. Raphael, you killed my son. Like sharks smelling blood in the water, the reporters' cameras instantly surrounded him. The mourners in the darkened hall look on, excited, yet they also carry the right amount of regret. No one steps forward to intervene. The child who wants to go on an Arctic vacation watches with interest, standing on her tiptoes to take a lollipop from her mother. How sad. With her son dead, the anchor that held her up was taken by a dark tide. Raphael calmly looks around the room, full of cameras, and leaves. Unbothered king. Another week passes. Raphael slips away from his uninspiring new work and promises repeated nagging to visit Talia in a small house in Verona. Talia is admiring a dress. It's one among countless other dresses that her new husband had designed for her. It's entirely black with just a stroke of white. Talia points at the black part of the dress. He said this is him. Then she points at the white. And this is me. What do you think? Interesting, right? Raphael pours himself a glass of water and takes a sip without looking. Has he ever designed a wedding dress? What do you mean? Talia raises an eyebrow. Then she smiles. No, but if you want to commission him, I can help you get a family discount. When Raphael leaves, Talia tosses him a small bouquet of flowers. He turns and catches them. I wanted to toss the bouquet to you that day, but you left early. This was what I had left. Raphael looks down at his hand. An unknown flower sits in his palm, reminding him of someone. On his way back, he sees many familiar faces among the Verona street performers. Those people stand amidst music, color, and dancing bubbles. They smile at him. Raphael remembers what Talia said at the wedding. Everyone was looking for an anchor. It's why they're still here. He waves back, hoping they can make their dream come true. Then he turns around and goes home. Are you tired from painting? You don't look so good. Charles wraps up the fiery flame lilies Raphael chose and hands them over. Are these also a gift? I think they suit you more. Great, Raphael takes the bouquet. I'm thinking of giving them to someone. Are you giving yourself away? Raphael never mentioned it. Charles had a hunch a long time ago. There must be someone in his heart that he didn't want to mention. My garden is always open to you. He pats Raphael's shoulder, then sees him and his flame lilies off. The flowers are light, their weight in his hand almost non-existent. He walks for a long time after leaving the garden, but he still hasn't decided whether or not he should give this bouquet away. He hasn't come up with a good excuse either. When your own heart is devouring you, is there anything that can pull you back? He remembers the question Talia once asked and avoids the underlying meaning. Can this flame lily bouquet become his anchor? He's not sure. Under the night sky, the black waves haven't fully rolled in. For now, he still has a chance to get a good sleep. until he must face the never-ending tsunami in his dreams alone. Gosh, Raphael is so interesting. Like, everything I'm reading right now, it just feels like such a mystery. Where's my... Where do I... Oh. Okay, 50 crystals is okay. Is okay. Better than 20. Sweeties. 2033. Summer. 1 salted egg yolk cheesecake and 1 chocolate chiffon cake. Jeremiah standing by the counter of Swedish cake shop. I thought that this was gonna be Zane. Leans slightly forward. His bright eyes follow the girl behind the counter. You've been coming here a lot recently, Jeremiah. Are you addicted to cake now? Jeremiah's eyes dart around as he reveals a slightly goofy smile. Maybe. 2 boxes of beautifully wrapped cakes are placed in front of him. Jeremiah pays, then pushes the cheesecake back. This is for you. The girl is taken aback, a hint of surprise flickering across her face before she quickly recovers. If you keep doing this, my boss will say you're playing favorites. He'll be upset you're only treating me and not him. She turns to him to look at the middle-aged man behind her, who's busy decorating cakes with a piping bag. She turns back and shrugs at Jeremiah. It's a secret then, Jeremiah whispers, leaning closer. This is Jeremiah from the Planetary Shuttle Squad 2, requesting a secret cake exchange with Squad 1 member Bella? Please respond, over. The girl chuckles, then quickly covers her mouth and whispers. Squad 1, Bella. Message received. Beginning cake transfer, over. Okay, Jeremiah, your friend is still outside. Don't keep him waiting. I'm going, Jeremiah says, his tone suddenly a little awkward. By the way, you haven't forgotten about the dinner at my house on Sunday, right? Ding ding ding! The door of the cake shop closes. Xavier, who had been waiting for a long time, glances at Jeremiah. I thought you said you couldn't get used to Earth food. Oh, Jeremiah says, waving his hand. I bought it for displaying purposes. Xavier raises an eyebrow. Before he can say the words Jeremiah knows it's coming, Jeremiah quickly passes his shoulder. Come on, teach me how to make some Earth dishes. You've been researching recipes recently, right? Is this why? You know, because Xavier and Jeremiah are from a different planet. They're from Philos. Is this why Xavier is not a good cook? And I want to know what they eat. Like, is everything like liquid or what? Bella loves marigolds. I want her to see them when she comes over for dinner, Jeremiah says, holding a vase as he passes by Xavier. He peeks out from behind the orange blossoms. Where do you think I should put it? At the door? By the dinner table? Or on the balcony? After being asked the same thing for the 23rd time, Xavier glances at the door adorned with plants, then at the dinner table surrounded by fresh flowers, and finally at the balcony that can only be described as a sea of flowers. I think there's no space. Really? Baffled, Jeremiah looks around the house he rented a week ago. I didn't think it was this small when I saw it. You could hold it. Xavier suddenly... What? Xavier suddenly says. I was like, wait, that didn't make sense. Huh? Hold it and give it to her when you open the door. Xavier! Xavier knows what to do, you guys. He might look like he's clueless, but the guy knows. Jeremiah scratches his head. Oh, we're just friends. I don't want her to misunderstand. He turns to Xavier with a playful grin. Have you used this trick before? Xavier glances at him. What? What do you mean what? Don't play dumb. Jeremiah nudges him. Xavier walks to the sofa, picks up a magazine and sits down. Fine. Don't tell me then. The oven in the kitchen signals the food is ready. Jeremiah insisted Xavier stay for the dinner he set up to greet his friend. His reason? It adds a human touch. Oh, she probably thinks that this is a date. Maybe it is, but Jeremiah doesn't really want to say it is a date. And wow, what do you... Who's gonna be the third wheel here? Wearing oven mitts, he takes out the baked cheesy rice and sets it down in front of Xavier. Bella says that since we've met, we should make a mark in each other's lives. Otherwise, there's no point in meeting. Suddenly, it starts pouring outside. Xavier stares at the drenched sky and silence envelops the room. Come on, help me taste this. I've been taste testing this for the past few days. I can't even tell if it's good or bad anymore. Wow, he put a lot of effort in it then. Xavier looks away from the window and scoops up some rice covered in cheese and tomato sauce. The spoon is connected to the bowl via a string of cheese. It's alright. It's a bit more salt. Really? I don't know if I can trust either of these guys. Oh. Jeremiah frowns, eating a spoonful himself. Even after coming with the backtrackers to this place over 200 years ago, he still can't fully understand the diverse tastes of Earthlings. But since Xavier suggested it, there must be a reason. He nods. I'm just treating her to a meal. When Isaiah was looking for us before, she helped cover for me. I know nothing can happen between us. We don't age the way people here do. Wouldn't be fair. As Jeremiah eats, he rambles on, not even realizing the unease hidden in his voice. Don't worry. I don't have any ulterior motives. Besides, I haven't finished my main task yet. I'm the one who has to fix the spaceship's launcher, right? I think he likes her. The rain outside is relentless. Through the window, the raindrops seem to be capable of piercing through anything. They crisply pitter-patter as they hit the glass. Xavier puts down his spoon, wipes his mouth, and stands up. Forget it. You haven't fixed it in 200 years. You might as well focus on dating. What? In a flash of light, Xavier disappears along with the newly modified accelerator Jeremiah had on the table. He sighs and takes the dishes back to the now empty kitchen. If someone told him hundreds of years ago, back when the Traceback 2 was riddled with holes from an asteroid as they were in cosmic turbulence, he would face the mundane problem of greasy dishes, he would have laughed. He understands Xavier's indifferent reaction. As the leader of the backtrackers, Xavier must have seen more of his former companions leave compared to Jeremiah. Asteroids, turbulence, and the collapse of wormholes couldn't tear Traceback 2's team apart. With Xavier there, they managed to break through the universe's most impregnable space-time barrier. Yet, such an invisible team eventually dissolved in the mundane times of this era. From a loved one handing them flowers. The radio behind Jeremiah switches from its regular program to a news broadcast. The year isn't over yet, but we've already predicted that this will be the heaviest, most widespread rain. Maybe his date is caught in the rain. It's expected to end on Saturday. Sunday will be sunny. It will be perfect for a trip. Let's look forward to a wonderful weekend. Oh, maybe this gives him some kind of ideas. He turns off the TV and walks onto the flower-filled balcony. There's a tranquil sunset, no monsters, no fluctuations, and no need to fight in the cosmos. Living like this is the reason why many people left the backtrackers. Maybe those who left just missed home. After leaving Jeremiah's fabricated home, Xavier walks under the moonlight to a secluded forest on the city outskirts. Behind the dense forest and the signal blocking zone is the largest cosmic signal transmission and reception station. It was secretly built by Lincoln City. He could technically teleport to any place he had been before using his Evolve, but he always slows down when passing the signal station. The blue light on the top of the tower flickers, almost blending in with the starry sky. Apart from that, most of the buildings in the base aren't tall. They're sparsely scattered in the forest clearing. Occasionally, maintenance staff would walk around, their whispers echoing in the distance. These faint sounds are as comforting as the cosmic white noise they heard when they traveled through unfamiliar galaxies. His mind wanders back to the seemingly endless journey back when he slept in the hibernation pod. He heads deeper into the forest, through a pitch-black valley, walking until no buildings are visible. There, he reaches his destination, the crash site of Traceback 2. Only part of the wreckage is above ground. He pushes away the vines and places Jeremiah's accelerator into the launcher. He lights it with his Evolve, because his Evolve is light. Little specks of light float from his hand into the leaves below. Soon, blue electricity starts flowing, and a cold mechanical noise echoes under the starry sky. He sits down in the pilot's seat, quietly waiting for the result. Fortunately, the forest in every space-time sound and smell the same. He closes his eyes, thinking about his home. Some say that from a higher dimensional perspective, time doesn't exist. The past, present, and future unfold in the same space. Ooh, that's interesting. A person can only see the world before them because their eyes can only perceive the light projected from it. If this is true, then somewhere in the vast cosmos, there might exist a point where light from countless timelines converge. From there, one could see every star that ever existed, from the explosion of the universe to its eventual collapse, and witness every possible ending the world could take under an infinite number of choices. The mechanical roar subsides, leaving the forest in silence and darkness. It's hopeless without protocore energy. He collects his scattered thoughts and opens his eyes to a cascading waterfall of stars in the forest. He raises his hand, as though he wants to catch them. If time really doesn't exist, then within this sea of stars before him, could he see Phylos and her little planet? That is a very interesting question, because if past, present, and the future would all be like in the same timeline, wouldn't that also like have different versions of MC? Like, which version of MC would you choose? That would be difficult. Like, let's say there are like four of MC, and he has to pick one of them. The other three are gonna feel so betrayed. And then what? When he sees how betrayed they feel, what's he gonna do? Like, okay, I'ma have 4 girlfriends. I mean, that ain't so bad. That means we can have 5 boyfriends, right? Uh. Huh? Is it disconnecting? Connecting to network. Should I just continue reading? Yeah, I don't think I'll get disconnected. Catastrophe. A year passes. Jeremiah still hasn't found a suitable power source to start the spaceship. The rented home gradually became his real home. After arriving in this era, several unwritten rules were formed among the backtrackers, such as changing residence regularly and avoiding unnecessary contact. After obtaining the identity of a normal person, Jeremiah loses all contact with Xavier. He did look for him many times privately, but in a way, he feels as though... What the frick is it saying? No! No, it really... I need to restart the app. Where was I? He did look for him many times privately, but in a way, he feels as though this fruitless search might be better. Whether it's because of guilt or not wanting another traitor like Isaiah to trouble Xavier, he doesn't know. Besides, with his current appearance, gloves and an apron, he really wouldn't know what to say if he were to meet his former captain. His days drifting in trace back to feel like a dream from a previous life. Jeremiah's biggest worry now is how to give Bella a ring and invite her to live in this home he built for her. But before he can come up with a satisfactory plan, a 3-day polar night begins. He had a bad feeling about it, all of which comes to fruition when, at 3 in the morning, the last day, he sees a wanderer. It pierces through the skyscrapers of Lincoln City, like a meteor, shooting right through the psychological defenses of its citizens. People who have never seen such a monster are captured by death, as they enveloped in fear. They cry as they say their final goodbyes to family, friends, and lovers. Then, they're mercilessly crushed by a wanderer that somehow appeared behind them, becoming a handful of dust. When Jeremiah reaches Sweetie's cake shop, he only sees collapsed buildings and destroyed shop signs. In the ruins, a small marigold is buried under the rubble. He doesn't dwell on it for long, quickly realizing he's perhaps one of the few people who knows how to defeat these monsters. When he tries to shatter the Wanderer's protocol as he had done when part of the Order of Lightseekers, he finds no weapons at hand or within sight. This era is far behind the level of technology they had on Philos. His peaceful life has almost made him forget how to fight. As the monster's roar reaches his ears, he rolls over and watches helplessly as the marigold disintegrates in a dark blue energy wave. In the early days of the catastrophe, he briefly worked with Xavier in the most devastated areas, and standing in the middle of a severely damaged road, Xavier rescued a girl and disappeared soon after. Jeremiah knows that he must have found her. The disaster lasted much longer than anyone imagined. January 1st, 2035. The Hunters Association was officially established. The president announces in the January 1st agreement that they may have to coexist with wanderers. The newly rebuilt Azure Square broadcasts this historical moment on a giant holographic screen. Jeremiah is in the crowd when it plays. It feels as if an ancient spaceship has finally landed, and the real traceback mission has begun. In 2037, Lincoln City mostly rebuilt itself at an almost incredible speed. After mastering the purification and use of protocore energy, it's even more prosperous than before the disaster. Xavier walks around a corner and is hit by a floral scent. He looks up to see a flower shop called Philo. Its golden marigolds spill out onto the street. It's all very familiar. He vaguely remembers this used to be a cake shop. The shopkeeper, carrying a potted plant, pushes open the glass door. His greeting is caught in his throat at sight of Xavier. I bought this place, so I'm living here now. The backyard is a greenhouse, and the third floor is a workspace. Jeremiah invites his long-lost friend to the shop and serves 2 cups of hot tea. The spaceship's launcher is... Did she eat dinner at your place that weekend? Xavier unexpectedly interrupts him with a long-lost memory, leaving Jeremiah somewhat at a loss. Ah, you mean Bella? He scratches his head. She did, and she immediately noticed that I rented the house. Bella said no one would clear out a house until it's only filled with flowers. She knew who I was from the start, and said she saw me when she was a child. She also said she'd like to see my real home, if she could. Jeremiah touches a small ring he wears on a necklace as he speaks. Then he tucks it back into the collar. Enough about me. How are you? Need a new identity? I can get you one. Xavier shakes his head, walking over to a cluster of blue flowers. It must be really difficult aging for like an eternity. Like, they're immortal, basically. So this girl that Jeremiah likes had seen him when she was a kid. And since Jeremiah doesn't age, he looks the same. Same with Xavier, he also looks the same. So that must be very difficult. Xavier shakes his head, walking over to a cluster of blue flowers. In the center of the 5 petals is a small yellow star. Wavy leaf sea lavender. He hasn't seen one in a long time. I won't lie, I felt quite guilty these past 2 years. It seems like everyone had a reason to give up and leave halfway, except you. Well, you did it too, but you wouldn't because no one could replace you. We all thought that you'd still make it to the end, even if you were the only one left. It's cruel. Sometimes I think those of us who left early can live their lives in peace, as long as you're still holding on. You can always choose what kind of life you want to lead. Xavier says softly. It's as if tiny suns illuminate the slightly wilted petals. Have you gotten used to earth food? Jeremiah stands up. Captain, can I come back? Xavier looks at him, seemingly thinking his question is unnecessary. Just do what you think is right. By the time Xavier leaves Philo, night has already enveloped the newly built Lincoln City. On the overpass, Xavier looks down at the endless stream of cars, hurried pedestrians. Everyone is absorbed in their journey, and not a single person pauses to gaze at the stars above. Of course, it's late. Everyone is rushing home. Like how all life ultimately returns to where it came from. No matter what he chooses, his fate always remains the same. Xavier, you already found her, right? So, why don't you settle down somewhere? As he leaves, Jeremiah's words echo in his ears. His gaze falls on the distant cityscape. Over the years, the light pollution in Lincoln City has become increasingly severe, making it impossible to see anything. He remembers the waterfall of stars he had seen deep in the forest. That's his last memory of his distant homeland. Maybe this time he can settle down. If possible, he wants a place where he can see the stars. Give me my crystals! Submerged rock. Raincoat is a little restless. He parks the car near an abandoned dock and gets out to open the trunk. An unconscious, frail man tied up in the fetal position lies inside. He's none other than Tony, an up and coming director who's currently the talk of the town in Lincoln City. He's worth billions and has mysteriously disappeared while writing his next movie script. He had set a limit for himself when he became a white glove for the Ever Group. Never target public figures. This has kept him hidden for many years. But now, he chuckles. He really should renegotiate his contract with Ever for dumping such a huge job on him. Putting on his gloves, Raincoat takes out a phone from Tony's body. He unlocks it with the man's finger and opens several recording apps, finally finding what he wants in voice memo. Every audio file has been renamed, probably for ease of access. Each can easily raise this rookie director's rank on Evergroup's execution list. It never ends well for people who know too much. Raincoat's finger hovers over the delete button. All he has to do is erase these recordings, throw the phone into the ocean, into the sea, and dispose of this man. Then his job will be over. But an idea springs into his mind. He plays the first audio file. 5:13. That'd be great if you don't mind. Recording is a habit of mine I picked up at work. It's hard to keep up with the conversation if you only take notes. Did Thomas tell you? The Deepspace Academy introduced me before. Our team is preparing a fantasy-themed film. I want to use Lemuria as the setting. He said you're an expert in Lemuria, and you just returned from a trip. Deepspace Academy thinks too highly of me. I'm just a painter. I don't know anything about Lemuria. There's no need to be so humble, Mr. Raphael. I've seen your paintings. The ocean in your work feel alive. It's very unique. Those are just normal pieces. Forget about them. Anyway, speaking of the Deepspace Academy, I heard they recently organized an archaeological team to find the ruins of Lemuria. Why don't you ask them? They should know more than me. They might not tell you much, though. I heard things didn't go too well for them. Anyway, I have stuff to do, so I can't see you off. Bye, Tony. 10:41. The archaeological team? You've got the wrong person, Director Tony. I'm just a handyman. I stayed on the ship and organized the relics during the exploration. I never dived. I really don't know the specifics, and I can only tell you what I saw. The day our ship arrived on the 20th, I think Miss Eleanor was the team leader. Her, Fred, Jennifer, and Professor Sean all went down in a submersible. We set up underwater archaeological bases before, the kind we can stay in for several days. Communication with the surface had always been fine. The plan was to finish and come back on the 4th. But you wouldn't have guessed what happened. The submersible didn't come back until the 11th, a whole week. A whole week, you see. I want to know what happened, but the Deepspace Academy kept everything all hush-hush. Everyone thought that was the end of it, but the day after, I heard, "Closer. Come closer, Tony. We gotta keep our voices down." I heard Miss Eleanor and Fred left the Deepspace Academy after an argument. They were both senior members, so them leaving caused quite a stir. And on the 3rd day, Jennifer disappeared too. Spooky, huh? Gets worse. That afternoon, when I was clearing up her camera, I found a deleted video clip. Privately altering archaeological records is against the rules, so I immediately tried to contact her. But I just couldn't reach her. I tried contacting the others, and only Professor Sean answered. He sounded weird, not energetic at all, and as soon as I mentioned archaeology, he hung up. "Oh, would you look at the time? I gotta go. I have lots of reports to catch up on because of that video. I'm super busy. Goodbye, Director Tony. I hope your movie is a box office hit." New audio clip, Memo 1. I was just looking for source material for the film. I didn't expect to uncover mysterious events involving the archaeological team. I pulled some favors and looked into it. Turns out Eleanor, Fred, and Jennifer didn't just disappear. They vanished off the face of the earth. Could be because I don't have any investigation skills. But none of them have been home. They haven't responded to messages or answered any calls. No one's seen them leave their house. It's all too suspicious. Creating a Lemurian mystery movie might be better. Missing archaeologists, deleted underwater footage, secrets of the ocean floor. That's quite a synopsis. If I can find out more, I'll have a direction for my script. I need to contact Professor Sean as soon as possible. If he's gone, I lose all my leads. 3137. Sound of a door opening. Tony? Professor Sean, it's an honor to meet you. Are you going on a trip? You're all packed up. I hope I'm not bothering you or anything. No, I'm not. You don't need to address me as professor either. I'm no longer with the Deepspace Academy. Come in. Thank you. I'll get straight to the point then. Mr. Sean, I'm here about the matter of Lemuria. My team is... I have nothing to say. Everything is recorded in the exploration report. You can ask for it from the Deepspace Academy. I read it already. But I'd rather have a first-hand account from someone who was actually there. It's better for the script. That's why I want to hear your experience when you explore the ruins of Lemuria, Mr. Sean. Is this a test to see if I'm lying or not? Ha 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 ha. I'm a director, not a detective. I can't tell. This is all for the movie script. Even the greatest fairy tales need to be based on reality. Reality? Oh, my sense of reality has changed because of my time in Lemuria. How so? Some things I didn't write in the report because no one would believe them. But if you're making a movie, then pretend everything I say is a story. Please go on. On the 20th, the day the submersible went underwater, we found a whirlpool. Our navigation and communication equipment malfunctioned, and we lost our way, as well as our courage. We struggled for a long time. We were about to give up when, out of nowhere, a school of blue fish appeared. It was a miracle. They must have been messengers from Lemuria that heard our desperation and came to our rescue. They guided us to the ruins. A school of blue fish led you to the ruins? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Even though it happened, recalling it feels like a dream. But in that vast, unnavigable ocean was everything beyond our current scientific understanding. Excuse me for asking this, but have you taken any medication recently, Mr. Sean? It's fine if you don't believe me, but please don't doubt what I've seen. No, I'm not. It's just, not everyone gets to witness miracles. It's better safe than sorry. Please continue. I'd love to hear more about the bluefish. The life there is sentient. Those blue fish accompanied us throughout our trip. They were our guides, beacons, companions, and emotional support. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see them. Is it possible that these fish are some sort of Lemurian machines? Like, specifically designed for leading the way? Or for some other purpose? No, absolutely not. They were real fish with their own thoughts and feelings, not machines. Fish have feelings? Why would you think that, Mr. Sean? I'm just speculating. There's no particular reason. Okay, let's move on. Could you describe in detail what happened after you entered the ruins? I don't really remember what happened after that. All I can say is we saw someone in Lemuria. As in another member of the archaeological team? No, but he was dressed just like us. You mean a fifth person appeared underwater? Speak, Raphael. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, I can't say anymore. You should go. Mr. Sean, I'm sorry for barging in today. Before I go, though, I have one last question. According to the ship's report, they never lost communication with you. If your communicators were malfunctioning from the start, then who were they getting signals from? Sound of a door closing. New audio clip, Memo 2. The School of Blue Fish makes for a nice visual reference. Professor Sean's account does seem genuine. I don't think he was lying, but is this fifth person he mentioned? And what does he mean by dressed like us? This is strange. 3 of them are missing, and the remaining one is packing his bags and leaving. Something must have happened. At least the video is close to being restored. Hopefully, I can get more from that. Hey, Tony, it's been 2 years since the last time we talked. You're a pretty good friend, only remembering me when you need something. On top of that, it's such a difficult task. Do you think IT guys don't have lives? Anyway, whoever deleted this video is really skilled. You know how long it took me to restore it? I put off 3 big projects, worked day and night fiddling with this camera, and only managed to restore one frame. What's with that face? 1 frame is my limit. The memory card was tampered with. I'm self-taught, so I have no idea how to handle such high-end tech. It's the best I can do. Here's the phone too. I restored the call history for you. Whoever had this phone before talks really loud. It hurts my ears. Okay, I'll shut up. But you better treat me to lunch sometime. I should be compensated one way or the other for my work. New audio clip memo. I've seen the restored footage. The fifth person who was dressed like them. It was a skeleton. I really wish it was clearer. Wait, is the skeleton holding a weapon? It looks like a protocore weapon. What's going on? Protocore weapons were only invented in the last decade or so. How could this one have appeared in the ruins of Lemuria? Is it possible the underwater city didn't sink naturally? This is fantastic news. No wonder the video was deleted. Right, there's Fred's phone. It was a skeleton. Frederick to Eleanor. 9:18. Hello? Why aren't you answering your phone, Eleanor? I don't care what you're up to. I'm definitely leaving. Nothing ever goes well when it comes to Lemuria. Of course, I have no shame. Those protocore weapons had nothing to do with us. But this matter implicates the Evergroup. Do you think we can handle them? And you felt it too. People have been stalking us ever since we left Lemuria. Sean and Jennifer are naive to think it's Lemuria's god. But you don't seriously believe such nonsense, do you? I'm telling you, someone's spying on us. The video has been deleted. We left the Deepspace Academy and we've been hiding every day since. We've gone to such great lengths to avoid being captured, so why can't you change your mind? Eleanor, you're endangering our lives if you keep looking into Lemuria. Sure, you can say you did everything and none of us were involved, but would the people from Ever believe you? Don't be an idiot. You still have a brain. Then leave the Deepspace Academy like the rest of us. Forget about everything related to Lemuria. New audio clip, Memo 4. Fred thinks Ever were the ones stalking them in the ocean? That's impossible. Why would Ever need to tail them? It's the deep sea. It's pointless. And Fred clearly said he was going to leave, but now he's missing. Did he disappear on his own? Or did Ever... Law and Order is just a fool's dream. Tony, what a coincidence. Didn't expect to see you here. Do you want to talk about Lemuria? Who are you? Ah! The clip ends with a cacophony of noise. Then a notification pops up on the screen. End of recording. He had dug up the protocore weapon buried deep within the ruins. No wonder he got on Ever's execution list. Raincoat loosens his tie. Just as he's about to toss the phone back into the trunk, a flame materializes on his palm. The phone's shattered screen crackles in the firelight. Nice! I got both the person and evidence in one go. The voice is as silky as brocade. He turns around to see someone in a suit and leather shoes approaching him from the far end of the dock. No wonder you're still alive and working with Ever, despite uncovering so many secrets. The scent of the ocean brushes past him. Raincoat freezes, his mind racing. Behind him is the sea, while he's been looking at where the man is standing. Could he have come from the sea? Are you Raphael? Putting two and two together, he makes an educated guess. You know this Tony guy is really unlucky to get on a hit list for a film. And you're right about how it's dangerous to know too much. Raphael sits down next to the trunk, sighing at the sight of the director being bound and gagged. He turns and glances at Raincoat's hands. Same goes for you. The more dirty work you do, the less you can hold on to these gloves, yeah? Raincoat understands. He knows a lot more about Ever than Tony. Who knows? He might be next. This mysterious artist who recently returned to the country has countless connections with Lemuria. His sudden appearance here isn't just to sigh and say hello. Thank you for the reminder, Mr. Raphael. Do you have any advice? Well, since you're just in this for the money, why don't you work for me and give yourself a way out? What do you want? Raphael looks out at the ocean, his gaze seemingly penetrating the depths of the water. Ever has an execution list. Those on it either die or disappear. I want a copy for it to be destroyed. Add a few more names to it. Raincoat waits for Raphael to make his request, but then he mentions a single name. A girl? If her name's on the list, then give everything about her to me. She's just a pawn. The complete list only exists in the hands of that person. Watching Raphael's confident demeanor, it's evident he knows the trading partner isn't Raincoat himself. After weighing his options for a moment, Raincoat feels like this is a good deal. After careful considerations, he handed an address to Raphael. Mr. Raphael, someone will be waiting for you here tomorrow night. Whether you can obtain the list depends on your negotiation skills. The nest? Raphael glanced at the address briefly before conjuring a flame in his palm and devouring it. The lights there are blinding. Doesn't the person behind you feel the same? Raincoat doesn't respond and change the topic. Is the girl on the list your enemy? I'm just an artist. I don't have enemies. She's my lover, you know. It's almost hard to believe his honesty, but Raincoat has no intention of delving into the artist's confusing life. You're more than just an artist, Mr. Raphael. By the way, did you know you're also on the list? You're ranked 6th. Raphael doesn't say anything about it. He just frowns, discontent. Seriously? Why do I have such a low rank? I thought I'd be first! Why is he so funny? He just wanna be first in everything. Love that for him. But like, reading this, I'm like, I would not want to be an enemy of Raphael. Like, he has this beautiful, ethereal appearance and his amazing personality. It's very complex, his personality. You might see him at first and be like, oh, he's almost a little bit like childish, playful, grumpy, drama queen, funny guy. But he's so freaking deep and such a complex character, and that is what I love about him. Also about Caleb. He's also complex. And just reading this, I'm just feeling like I would not want to be his enemy. At Raphael's nonchalant attitude, a curious inkling begins to form in Raincoat's mind. He thinks of the mysterious deaths, the rumored sea monster murders that once shook other cities. Then, he thinks of the many outsiders the Ever Group called research samples that that he and other raincoats had dealt with. After thinking for a few seconds, Raincoat calmly asks, Mr. Raphael, I presume you have your own list. What's my ranking? This is exactly what I mean with not being an enemy of Raphael. Oh my goodness. Oh. Raphael waves his hand. You won't make it onto my list for a while. Maybe one day, though. By the way, let the director go when he wakes up. It's better if you have less blood on your hands. Raincoat shrugs. Then, here's to a successful partnership. Should we shake hands? I need my hand for painting, so no. Raphael shakes his head, stands up, and walks away. After a few seconds, he stops as if he remembered something. He stares at the raincoat on Raincoat. This doesn't suit you. He waves and completely disappears from Raincoat's sight. Raincoat is silent for a long time. Then he removes his wrist to put the hood on. I bought it yesterday. Oh, of course he would give him fashion advice. I love that for him. Give me my crystals! There we go. Should I read one more? The music. Whispers. The door is slightly ajar. A young man wearing a duckbill cap snorts, pushing the door open with a finger. His steps kick up dust, and the sound of his shoes hitting the ground echoes in the empty room. At the window, a man in a raincoat turns his head. He hears the noise. He pulls back his pointed hood. Long time no see. You look older now. Have you gone blind as you kept an eye on ever? The man with a duckbill cap retorts. His voice surprisingly old-sounding compared to his appearance. He hands over a black briefcase. Here are the goods. An explosion site's striking scent still lingers. Rushing into his nose, the man in the raincoat frowns. He pulls out a clean handkerchief from his pocket and wraps it around his hand, pinch a corner of the briefcase. He gives it a couple of shakes before opening. 4 slightly yellowed pages unfold before him. They quietly tell a story from 14 years ago. Subject anomalies record. Recorder Josephine. Gaia Research Center. Unicorn Team. Researcher Team Leader. Observation number 5, day 42. Anomalies. Subject 001 regained vital signs after death. Details. Subject 001, female, evil, Anhausen class. Day 41 of observation, 2 a.m. For reasons unknown, suspected to be researchers' mishandling of the subject. The subject's energy values rapidly increased and peaked at 2:39 a.m. Is this MC? It resulted in a powerful energy burst within her body. No casualties or equipment was damaged. All vital signs disappeared after the explosion. Day 42 of observation. Today, 4 p.m., vital sign monitor suddenly started and slowly transmitted data again. Heart rate, breathing, brain activity resumed. Not only did subject 001 appear to be alive again, but energy values also returned to normal. A comprehensive physical examination revealed a newly created, unidentified substance in her heart. Experiment note. Last night's incident was like watching a planet evolve and be reborn via an explosion. The substance in her heart is composed of an unknown element. We've never seen it before. When the data was released, the team applauded and cheered. But I wasn't as excited as I imagined myself to be. My intense curiosity overshadowed the joy of achievement. If she has a non-existent element, then what kind of existence is she? Outside the observation room, Leon asked what we should call this element before we had the right to name it. Everyone gathered around him and Ether became the most popular, irresistible candidate. Using that, the unidentified object in her heart composed of ether was dubbed as an ether core. After calming down from the excitement, we began to look at her resurrection. Leon quietly asked me if this could be considered a resurrection from death. That's dark. So MC has... How many times have she died and been resurrected? What the frick? Everyone knew very well that the best way to study her resurrection was to kill her again. Excuse me? But Josephine, aren't you... She's her grandmother. I did have an off feeling about her. Especially when we sat... And when we were at Josephine's place with Caleb and we were sitting there. And she was talking about Dr. Zane. And how they should have dinner together. How MC should have dinner together with him or something like that. And then, like, Caleb... I don't know why it felt like Caleb was a bit to the side, like, of this conversation. Has Caleb witnessed this? No wonder if he has witnessed this. MC being killed off and resurrected. Of course, he would turn so overprotective, almost like obsessively. That's so sad. That is so sad. The things he must have seen, the things he must have endured to knowing all of this. But MC doesn't seem to have any memory. Will she though? If she woke up once more, then we could confirm that she's truly a unique miracle of life in this research center. She's just like a mythical creature long sought after and believed to exist only in our imagination. A unicorn. A fantastical, beautiful creature. Oh, they're really treating her like an experiment. This poor girl. A box for collecting votes was placed in the corner of the lab. I passed by it several times, unable to give a vote of approval. I know experimentation is a necessary process. She holds too many secrets that are worth researching and carries an unpredictable amount of energy. Yet, despite my desire for knowledge, I still can't ignore the fact that she's a child. I'm guessing this is from Josephine's Josephine's notes, Josephine's perspective. Observer, Josephine. Entry number 1. Unicorn became the child's name in various reports, replacing the cold designation of Subject 001. Only Leon insisted on calling her Little Bomb. She was like a newborn creature, exploring the world every day using only primitive instincts. After her resurrection, her cognition and memory of her previous life were erased. To reassess her abilities, I gave her picture books and cards with words. She quickly passed my tests with flying colors, performing better than children at her age. She absorbed and understood information faster and more thoroughly. I feel like she could have been adopted because Josephine wanted to observe her the entire time and do experiments on her when she wanted to. That is so dark. That is so dark. And when exactly did Caleb... When was he adopted? Maybe we'll know. I haven't read his anecdotes yet. To reassess her abilities, I gave her picture books and cards with words. She quickly passed... That we already... She absorbed and understood the information faster and more thoroughly. If she were in school, she could easily be a 5th grade student. Entry number 2. In terms of evil experiment, we could only hypothesize from a numerical perspective. Before she used evil of her own accord, no one could be sure how the resonance evil would manifest. Only once did she use resonance unconsciously. The target and range were unclear. Leon has the acoustic transmission evil. That day, everyone heard him talking on the phone with his girlfriend, as if he were a broadcaster. Entry number 3. Following the voting results, we began our experiment to kill Unicorn in an observation unit yesterday. We also prepared emergency measures. The same situation repeated itself. The energy inside her was stimulated to peak faster than last time, which led to a more intense energy. Burst, even spread outside the observation unit. Subsequently, all vital signs disappeared, and she entered a state of death, as we typically understood it. The shrill alarm of the life detector went off, and I realized my right hand had been tightly clutching the back of my left hand. My forehead was also covered in sweat. I was worried the child would never wake up again. Then stop it! But in this research center, being attached to a test subject is prohibited. This morning, under the ether core's influence, she opened her eyes again, as expected. What if Josephine also adopted her because of feeling guilty? Guilty for doing all of these experiments. Did she eventually stop? But imagine how betrayed MC must feel. Leon breathed a sigh of relief. So did I. I wanted to apologize to the child, but I knew that for her, who had woken up again, the world was a brand new place. She doesn't remember any of us. However, that was more intriguing than her blank slate of an emotional state. Was the ether core's energy in her heart. With the reawakening of her consciousness, had become stronger. Day 49, post-chrono rift catastrophe. Sunny observation on Unicorn had yet to enter phase 6, when the chrono rift catastrophe changed the world. The Gaia Research Center couldn't escape the destruction. When I was rescued from the ruins, the child was nowhere to be seen. She might have escaped when the observation unit was smashed. The evil police who helped in the rescue efforts said they haven't seen the child I described. I imagined many possibilities, but I was certain she was alive. Days after the disaster, I finally found her in a shelter. When I took her hand, I heard her call me Grandma. I never taught her that term, nor had she ever called me that. She didn't recognize me either. The days in the research center had once again disappeared from her memory. Yet the seemingly instinctual trust and closeness she showed made me feel as if those forgotten days were always there, invisibly linking us together. I asked her if she wanted to come home with me. She smiled and nodded. In the research center, the moment I pushed her into the observation unit felt like a horrible nightmare. Now holding her soft hand felt like I grasped a redemption bestowed by fate. Day 75. Post-chrono rift catastrophe. Sunny, our lives have calmed down. Yet she still forgets things from time to time. Her memory is like a faint signal, intermittent and sometimes wavering. So I took on the responsibility of a true guardian and cared for her. I don't know how to describe my current feelings. I never had children, nor did I ever imagine having relatives. It's always been just me at home, with her, and things have started to change. Was she gonna say, and Caleb? Day 134. Post-chrono rift catastrophe. Sunny. Her condition has improved a lot recently. She's less likely to forget things. Perhaps it's because her condition is stabilizing. But I'm still worried and want to check her and the ether core. However, I'm unable to contact the researcher who knew of her existence back then, including Leon. Strange. Maybe Ever's research center called them, or I don't know. Looking back, Ever's investment in Gaia wasn't simple research. Our life form observation project was not just for observation. There must be a bigger scheme. At this point, the only person who I can turn to is Dr. Noah. In the field of cardiology, he's the leading expert and the only one I can still trust. The data after the checkup shows the energy peak in her heart is only half of what it used to be. What happened to this child when she faced the chrono rift catastrophe alone? When I suddenly asked her, she just shook her head, showing neither pain nor sadness on her face. Seeing her reaction, I suddenly felt that maybe forgetting isn't such a bad thing for her. That is so interesting. I'm wondering if we'll get more information on this chrono rift. Is this it? Having gone through all the pages, the man in a raincoat appears slightly unsatisfied. Don't be too greedy, the man with the duckbill cap snarled. This is enough for you to confirm her identity and role. You silenced Josephine and retrieved the research material from back then. Good work. The man in a raincoat tosses a vial, the hat-wearing man. Then he tucks the pages into his bag and returns the briefcase with a two-finger push. It stinks. Be careful walking around with it, otherwise sharp-nosed hunters might follow its scent back to you. Then you better be careful with your handkerchief. When it's tainted with that, make it out either. After checking that the drug is the correct one, the hat-wearing man's lips curl into a smirk, his old voice trembling slightly with excitement. When are you planning to make your move? Why should we rush? Her powers aren't complete yet. Besides, the man in a raincoat pauses, glancing outside the window. Your Prince Xavier has been glued to her side watching over her, right? Prince Xavier? What? I've been curious for a while. Do people still practice feudalism where you're from? Isn't that regression in a sense? Xavier can only guard her for so long. He's too busy dealing with his own issues. The hat-wearing man says, eagerly stepping forward. Don't say I didn't warn you. It's not just ever, sir. Strike first to gain an advantage. The one who strikes first is helping her. Cultivation. The man in a raincoat ignores him, pulling the hood over his head again. If you can get rid of Xavier in the process, you'd be doing us a big favor. Isn't internal struggle your speciality? Kill Xavier and let Ever crown you as a prince. Haha. Arrogant laughter is abruptly cut off as a thin beam of light cuts his neck. Blood spills out as a wrinkled hand grabs his throat and lifts him. I can't kill Xavier, but I can do more than deal with a two-legged carbon-based monkey like you. You kill me then. But how long can you survive in this era? The man in a raincoat faintly smiles, his trembling fingers pointing at the drug in the hat-wearing man's hand. Then, a scoff resounds near his ear. He's thrown into a corner. Tell your masters that they better get their hands on her fast. Based on my experience, her existence isn't as simple as the observation records suggest. The man lowers his hat and turns to leave. If you keep stalling, Ever will end up losing more than they bargained for. Once she develops, footsteps fade into the distance. The door is slammed shut, leaving the man who's wearing a raincoat lying in the rubble. Acting all high and mighty. Backtrackers, my ass. By seniority, I'm your ancestor. He staggers to his feet, brushing off the dust on him. Fortunately, the substance mixed in the drug hasn't been discovered yet. According to Ever's plan, if they can control that backtrackers with that drug, then controlling Xavier shouldn't be far off. He will soon beat other raincoats and join the real plan. Ever Group has always valued talent such as useful Lightblade. They can't let it break so easily. Since Unicorn's power isn't complete yet, it's perfectly fine to let her absorb some power. Xavier's, specifically. Letting his Lightblade serve her and become the strongest weapon in her hands is something the Resonance Evol can easily achieve. Xavier will surely give her every bit of himself. With these thoughts, the man wearing a raincoat can't help but be moved. Pulling out a handkerchief to wipe the corner of his eye. Love truly is a wonder. Oh, I feel like I want to continue reading. Maybe one more. But I need water first. Okay, let's continue with light. Ooh, fun music! Okay, I'll be serious. This is the last one I'm gonna read. For tonight. The office is quiet as night falls. Tara tiptoes past empty desks, her eyes drawn by the faint hum of electronics to a bunch of old monitors in the corner. Nero, she whispers, everyone's at the team building retreat. Why don't you join them? Tara taps the back of a monitor and leans against the window. She crosses her arms. After a second passes, the screen flickers as a single word is heard. I told Andrew that if you showed up, you'd be buried in brand new Wanderer data for the next month. And you'd even get to visit Wanderer's sampling center in person. He was willing to give his seal of approval. The response wavers his time. Tara can't help but feel more confident. There's a team building event tonight, and Tara's on a mission. A bet, actually. The prize? Afternoon tea with the loser paying for a mountain of fees. Everyone's convinced Nero, the opposite of a social butterfly, won't show up. Everyone except Tara. She believes she has a knack for persuasion. And with Andrew side, her odds are looking good. It's such a good opportunity to bond with people. You'd be crazy to miss it. 3, 2, half of Nero's face peeks out from behind the monitor. Terror and excitement hilariously battle each other in his eyes. Just as victory seems within reach, a notification erupts from his phone. Nero grabs it, his face draining of color as he reads it. No, I'm not going. Tara's smile evaporates as Nero makes a beeline for the exit. What could possibly be more important than a chance to see a rare wanderer closely? The answer arrives like a fly on her phone. A notification pops up from a group chat called Spilling Tea, and it's a bombshell. Lincoln citizens are holding another poll for their top 10 hunters. After 7 days, will that man still reign supreme as the strongest hunter? Is it Xavier? The pieces fall into place for Tara when it comes to Nero. There's only one thing that takes higher priority than a visit to the Wanderers. His unwavering worship of Lumiere, the legendary hunter. Lumiere, who's, Xavier. 7:28 p.m. Nero slams the door to his home, turns on his computer and rubs his hands together in anticipation. There are 32 minutes left until the Lumiere voting begins. He could easily rig the whole thing with his tech skills, but that's not how he works. Nero believes in the awesome power of light itself. Suddenly, a series of swooshes pierce the air. Nero jumps. It's the unmistakable ringtone from his phone. The iconic sound effect of Hunter's Lux entrance straight from Super Hunters. Hunter Lux Special. It's time to become his alter ego, the leader of Lumiere's ultimate fan site. That's so funny! That's so funny! Oh my god, he's such a fanboy. Chief, it's a disaster. The site's been hacked. Quantum Bro, another rumor mill is starting. Lumiere hater alert. Chief, check the top comment. Nero opens the meticulously maintained Light Chaser's website. his heart sinking as an unfamiliar post appears on the homepage. A deep breath buys him a moment to compose himself. He is a warrior preparing to face a great adversary. A troll. The post is a monstrosity. An indiscernible figure wearing a Lumiere outfit lurks in the dark corners of a grimy N109 zone alleyway. That unmistakably mask leaves no doubt about who it is. Lumiere. Bold text screams across the top of the page. Lumiere, the deceiver unmasked. His 7 sins revealed. The first sin is deception. Tragic. Where's the ultimate beauty beneath the mask? Here's the security footage. A burst of light transforms into a hooded figure near a florist. It's enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. After all, anyone with the light evil is incredibly rare. And this hooded guy has the same physique as Lumiere. It's uncanny. And when he lowered his hood, he had a face etched with wrinkles. It's a stark contrast to the youthful image of Lumiere that everyone imagined. Decades of heroism should leave him middle-aged at least, right? Still, a blurry video sits below the text. The wrinkles catching the streetlights, illuminating in a way that makes Nero shudder. Voting is only a few minutes away. Nero springs into action. His fingers fly across the keyboard, bypassing the city's security system. To access the raw footage from that location, the light chaser flashes a confident smile. As the revered leader of the light chaser's website, his data wrangling skills are legendary. Even though he never shows up for their offline events, a calming message flashes across the site. It's okay, everyone. I'm on the case. Quantum Socialite. Actually, a frame-by-frame analysis confirms that geezer in the video isn't Lumiere. Here's why. 1. It's clear he's built differently. Lumiere's got a superior physique. Oh my god, he's such a fanboy. I love this. I love this. This guy walks like a sack of potatoes compared to Lumiere's graceful moves. And here's a deep dive into the evil particle readings. The colors and amplitude aren't even close to Lumiere's signature. Check the pinned video for a full breakdown. Truth prevails. 4 AM. Nero, sporting some serious eye bags, finally catches a glimpse of dawnlight seeping through the curtains. Exhaustion crashes over him like a welcoming wave after he's spent the night defending his hero. A small smile graces his lips. Justice was served. If he only knew that he is working in the same office building as Xavier or Lumiere, his hero. He'd flip out. The second sin is pride. Ridiculous. Does Lumiere even care? A new day, a new sin to expose. Let's hear what this old light chaser has to say. Here's a disgruntled voice, disguised by a voice changer, ranting about a night of dashed hopes. That year an insider tip promised Lumiere's appearance at the grand opening of Azure Square. Thousands of fans shivered in the spring chill only to be left disappointed. This self-absorbed guy doesn't deserve their devotion. A memory flickers to life. Nero, a scrawny teen, 10-year-old back when the high-speed railway was a dream, remembers his dad planning a grueling 7 to 8 hour drive to Lincoln City. According to a rumor, Lumiere would appear at Azure Square, but the Hunters Association dispelled this rumor, so he stayed at home. Something was off. Even the association wouldn't have Lumiere's personal info. Where did this insider tip come from? Nero activates his expert mode and scours the web for traces of his old room. Finally, buried in an outdated private forum's backend database, he stumbles upon a message. We must construct the illusion of truth. Spread the rumor and we can force Lumiere to show up. Quantum Solstice. Socialite. I always want to say solstice. Actually, the Hunters Association issued a notice 3 days before the opening. They said Lumiere wouldn't be attending. It's still on their website. Now, let's talk about real pride. These chat logs clearly show people were spreading rumors even after the official announcement. They were basically trying to guilt trip Lumiere's fans into forcing him to appear. Those people don't deserve to be light chasers. Just as Nero wraps up his digital investigation, a blast from the past pops up. It's a message he sent to the Hunters Association in his younger days. I really want to meet Lumiere. And nestled among the few responses is a gem. Instead of looking up to the light, why not become a light that illuminates the world for others? The memory sparks a familiar warmth. It was the summer he decided to become a hunter himself. The third sin is sloth. Shocking! Lumiere actually sleeps with wanderers. You thought Lumiere was different? Here he is sharing a cozy nap with the enemy. Look closely. Doesn't that glow next to the hurty knave look familiar? The photographer claims he stumbled upon this scene. Lumiere supposedly vanished the moment the picture was snapped. And this incriminating evidence was left behind. Quantum Socialite. Talking about wanderers in front of me is like teaching a fish how to swim. As an intelligentsia type wanderer, hurt knave can influence the human psyche. Being attacked by a heart knave means the victim can be trapped in an illusion. It's extremely dangerous, but if you look closely at the heart knave's hand, you will see light cuffs. The crystalline blade has also lost its shine, indicating its protocore energy has been depleted. By the way, this photo was taken at 2:37 AM, while we were sleeping. Lumiere was out there battling wanderers to protect us. He must have been exhausted from his efforts. He wanted to rest after his victory, but he was disturbed by you, an unethical photographer, and had to leave. It can get chilly at night. Please cover Lumiere with a soft blanket next time to keep him from catching a cold. Oh my god, Nero, I love you. You're so cute. Nero hammers away at the keyboard, frustration fueling his fingers, but there's a flicker of hope. The photo of the heart knave is undeniably real, and the curled up figure sparks a strange joy. He doesn't know why the flash of light that supposedly belongs to Lumiere feels familiar. It reminds him of a similar light he saw behind a monitor at the Hunters Association. It was but a fleeting moment when he was alone. Where did that light come from? The next 3 days drag on. The remaining accusations, structured and seemingly logical, crumble under scrutiny. Nero blasts through them with official data from the Hunters Association public platform. There was no need for his expert skills this time. The fourth sin is greed. This post claims Lumiere hoards protocores and secretly auctions them off to the black market after conveniently finding them in battle. Lumiere's presence leads to unrecycled protocores. But the association's protocore tracking platform exposes this lie. The cores in question were destroyed after the Wanderer counters were confirmed. The fifth sin is envy. This claims Lumiere often hacks the hunting leaderboard on the Abyssal Chaos Forum. By baiting challengers with a fake top spot, he eliminates them to steal their protocores. But it turns out Lumiere helped apprehend the Tenebrae the association had been chasing for years. The sixth sin is violence. Talks about the recent Tezcatlipoca subway sighting and the Azure Square attack. There were elaborate hoaxes set up by Lumiere's team to make him more popular. The other person fighting alongside Lumiere is the true mastermind. It's a money-grabbing scheme to push Lumiere into the top 10 hunters and allow him to rule the hunter world with an iron fist. Quantum Socialite. 6 days, huh? I'd like to thank the troll for stirring the pot. While your last accusation was all over the place, it did give me a chance to showcase Lumiere's heroism to everyone. It was even greater proof that he's the ultimate role model. But amidst the flurry of denials, Nero obtains a detail from some classified document. Whether it's the destroyed protocores, Tezcatlipoca's return, or the Azure Square attack, all these events involve one person. It's his constantly absent colleague from Alpha Team, Xavier. Nero starts piecing together a theory about this mysterious teammate, but compared to the bombshell of the seventh day, they're nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if Nero does know, but he's keeping it quiet because he's such a fanboy and he doesn't want everyone else to know about it. That way he can be close to Xavier, aka Lumiere. Nero stares at the screen. The words, "The seventh sin is death." The light has faded, burned themselves into his retinas. This isn't the dramatic takedown he expected. Just a few leftover documents, but their content hits him hard like venom coursing his veins. He feels nauseated as he reads them. Light evil has been detected. Evolver's evil limit cannot be defined. Any attempts to probe its limit triggers a special neck suppressor. Oh, we know he has that! Which prevents the Evolver from using their full power. The techies can't explain it. No physical form detected, no scars, and the energy suppression field acts like a protofield anomaly. After conducting a series of experiments in the lab, the techies finally unraveled the suppressor's mechanism. They boosted its threshold and got a basic understanding of some of its mechanisms. Below the text is a close-up of someone's throat. The evil suppressor pulsating as a vicious, constrictive red string of light. And then there's a bit of silver in the... It's a tassel earring. Nero's breath hitches. He knows only one person who would wear that. The site explodes. Thousands tag Quantum Socialite and demand answers. The others mock the blind faith in the light. Their words pierce Nero's insides. This information isn't in his meticulous curated Lumiere archives. Panics claws away at him. The empty Alpha Team office makes him feel colder. He bites his lip. His fists are clenched, and he breaks out in a cold sweat. No matter how deep his breaths are, the hunter's watch on his wrist keeps sounding a health warning. Xavier has been going to the office more than usual. He's meeting up with someone. Maybe. He scans the room as incessant beeping reaches his ears. Following the sound, he finds Nero, whose eyes are red and teary. Did something happen? Xavier asks, his gaze splitting between Nero and the screen. Nero slowly lifts his head and glances at the colleague he rarely sees. He wants to ignore the question, but the photo on his screen, the captured Lumiere radiating an unshakable serenity, triggers a tsunami of emotions he's been desperately trying to hold back. Did something happen? Why are you asking me that? Look at this. Do you even recognize him? He practically throws the screen at Xavier, who raises an eyebrow and leans back a little. See the earring? That's Lumiere. Lumiere could be dead. Oh, Xavier nods. Maybe you should go home. Go home? We don't even know if he's alive. And you just want to go home? Replacing the beeping is a shrill alarm that pierces the tense silence. Nero's breathing quickens and hyperventilation threatens to take hold. Xavier quickly grabs a paper bag and offers it to him. He tries to offer a few words of comfort. Calm down. You should be okay now. Nero glares at Xavier, his gaze capable of melting glaciers. He snatches the paper bag and buries his face in it. His shoulders slump, and a defeated sigh escapes his lips. You don't understand him at all. Imagine Xavier being like, I promise that he's alive and well. Nero being like, how do you know? And Xavier is like, because I saw him, I think. 2 weeks of nail-biting anticipation finally culminate at the latest top 10 hunters list is released. Unsurprisingly, Lumiere reigns supreme once again, with even more votes than in previous years. But a new name throws a curveball. Quantum Socialite rockets into 10th place and sports the official Deepspace Hunter logo instead of a personal photo. Who is this mysterious hunter? Is he even real? The public doesn't seem to care and showers Quantum Socialite with votes anyway. The bold colors and flashy design, this intelligentsia-type wanderer perfectly captures the spirit of today's youth. Especially the heart knave with its crystalline blade. Supermodel-like figure and creepy hollow face. It's mesmerizing. I hope your company seriously considers launching a line of Wanderer plushies. They'd be a hit, trust me. After sending his 40-second feedback email to Twinkle Toys, Nero puts his phone away and stands outside the training room. Xavier walks out and Nero takes a deep breath. He stops him. Hey, I overreacted last time, sorry about that. And Xavier, I think I figured out one of your secrets. It's okay if you want to deny it, but hear me out. A flicker of confusion crosses Xavier's face. He waits for Nero to continue. The protocore incident that involved Lumiere, Tezcatlipoca, Azure Square, I know the truth. It's probably not gonna be what we think. You're Lumiere. Oh! A hint of surprise appears on Xavier's brow. Nero leans closer to him, a triumphant smirk on his face. Lumiere's ultimate fan, right? You pulled some strings for that movie gig. Didn't you? I get it. You're a real light chaser, but you don't need to confess. You can pretend this never happened if you want. Xavier's expression softens, and a small smile plays on his lips. Thanks. No worries. Lumiere scoop drops are coming your way as soon as I can get them. Nero watches Xavier walk away, a whirlwind of emotions swirling in his chest. What kind of connection does this guy have with Lumiere? Regardless, Lumiere's legacy will keep inspiring others, one group at a time. With renewed purpose, Nero opens his Light Chaser website and creates a new post, pinned by Quantum Socialite. Lumiere is a beacon in the darkness, guiding us to forge ahead, and I believe, with unwavering certainty, that his light will continue to shine in the future, because there's light everywhere. Oh my gosh, I didn't know he was such a fan. That's nice to know. Gosh, I love these. Hopefully there's more. 8. Ooh, okay, we have plenty to leave. I hate this guy. Serpent Cast, this freaking Viper, I hate him. And that professor. Let's see what Raphael is doing.
I'm sure you wouldn't just leave like this.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Oh, good. I need to ask an important question. What would you like to do right now? Your wish is my command. I'm ready to cook. Just place your order. What's with that look? I can cook with land ingredients too, you know. The meal will taste just as good as seafood. I can learn whatever I couldn't do before.
You know, maybe I didn't mean anything eatable.
I heard some people get really tired during their period and have super bad cramps. Do you also experience that?
I'm okay now. I forgot to mention that I am
I'm convinced.
not
After
on it
all,
right now.
You start your day off with fighting wanderers.
But thank you for asking me. I love that.
You need to learn how to take responsibility for your actions.
What did I do? Oh, what did I do? God of styling. Looks amazing. Dude, you know him? Beauty. Right, you can do this as well. What low-cut shirt? You don't even have a low-cut shirt.
Why are you being so gentle? You must be up to something again.
Maybe?
When you dive deep underwater, you can hear your own heartbeat.
Speaking of heartbeat. Darn it! I usually get more than 100. I get it up. Like, how... I'm doing something now. Should we take a photo? Maybe we should go to the photo studio with Raphael. What do we want to do? Should we do this one? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think we are done with the outfit. Oh my god, I love this outfit on MC. And this outfit on Raphael. Oh my gosh. So good. Now what? I think we're done there. So pose. So cute. Hold on. We want a different background. This is nice. Maybe let's do this one. Go back to poses. Oh, incompatible. Someone was trying to do a heart, but MC was like, fail! Imagine not doing a heart with Raphael. Oh, this is so cute! This is adorable! Oh gosh, this too. Ah. Perfect. Oh my goodness. I love this one. I have too many pictures of this. Wow, they look so good together. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so Cloud and Aerith coded. Every time I see this, I'm like, Cloud and Aerith. Cute. Wait, since they're so close to each other, maybe we can do... like our own... like our own kind of pose. Frick, did I move her? Oh, there we go. Maybe we keep this on her and let's see what... we can be like behind like this. No, why can't I? Okay, but this kind of looks good. Maybe we'll make her do some other kind of pose. I'm guessing we can't pause a dynamic pose. Oh my god, it's poses. Ooh, wait, can she hold on to him? Maybe she can. Whoa! Wait, this is gonna be on the butt area. Why can't I? Whoa! Darn it, wait. Ah! Okay. What? Wait a minute, no! 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 Wait! What did I do? There we go. We still have the lightning as well. Hmm. Hmm. About warm? Hmm. About this. Okay, I think this looks nice. Should we do something? Feathers. Meh, we don't need that. This looks cute. Click! Took way too long. Hold on. They look happy. Ah, that is it for today. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.